using the systematic process of the different levels of perspective in sales engagements. All 5 levels are even important to address in most selling situations. Of course, sales live in an event-oriented world, and most of our efforts will be directed in that area. The highest leverage action we can take is determined by the level of perspective we are at a given moment. It is important for sales and marketing to understand at what level their customer is, or, even more specifically, the level the person they are communicating with is at when they are positioning their product or service. The challenge is to choose the correct response for the present situation or person. Understanding what they value and their scope of concern and influence can be understood better if we understand their level of perspective. To be most effective, we must carefully consider the full range of levels and resist the tendency to work in only 1 or 2 levels, excluding others. Daniel Kim's levels of perspective are an effective tool for marketers to use when creating content. By understanding the different levels of perspective and how they can be used to engage customers, sales and marketing can create more effective and engaging content tailored to the viewer and resist the tendency to work in 1 or 2 levels, excluding others. Understanding the different levels of perspective, when interacting with customers, we will always be at one of 5 levels. We can ask ourselves a few questions to determine our level. They are: what do we want? Who are we talking to? What are we talking about? How are we talking to them? And what is our tone? These 5 questions will allow us to determine where we are in the engagement according to the 5 levels of perspective. A key factor in understanding is that these levels of perspective occur simultaneously and make up a state of mind or the level of engagement. For example, a person may be at the vision level, talking about systemic structure. This is not an issue of where the person is at in time, but of their level of engagement. 1. Vision, generative, level. How does this align with our plans? The generative, vision level is about where we intend to go and our desired future state. It is where we are looking through the organization's windshield and looking forward to the planned path. We are trying to understand how our offering in progress will contribute to our company's plans. We want to know if the product will help us to accomplish the plan. Is this a good investment? Will it make us money? What plans do we have for the long term? How will it fit into our roadmap? What is our strategy? How will this help us to achieve our goals? These are all questions we ask at the vision level. 2. Mental models, reflective, level. Why do we believe this occurs? The reflective, mental models level is about why the offering in progress is useful and what makes it effective. At this level, we are looking through the organization's side view mirrors and looking backward at the path we have taken. We are trying to understand how customers use the offering and how they find it beneficial. We want to know why the product is effective in the marketplace. Why did we select this solution? Why did we choose this path? How does it work? How will it benefit the customer? How will the customer use it? Why will they use it that way? These are all questions we ask at the mental models level. 3. Systemic structure, creative, level. How will this be adapted to our organization? Who else does this affect? The creative, systemic structure level is about how the offering is organized and used. At this level, we are looking through the organization's side view mirrors. We are looking at the broader relationships and interdependencies of the offering and its functions. We want to understand how the offering will be used in the organization and by whom. We want to know who else is affected by this offering. 4. Patterns, adaptive, level. What happens to this from reoccurring? The adaptive, patterns level is about what has happened to this in the past. At this level, we are looking through the organization's side view mirrors. We look backward at past events and how the offering has been used. We want to understand how the offering has been used and how it has been effective or ineffective. 5. Events, reactive, level. How does it solve this problem? The reactive, events level is about solving the problem and meeting the need. At this level, we are looking through the organization's side view mirrors. We are looking at the immediate situation and need that the offering is meeting. We want to understand how the offering solves the problem and what the offering does for the customer. How do we know the level of perspective the person is at? By understanding the 5 levels of perspective, we can better determine the level of engagement. It is important to realize that all levels of engagement occur simultaneously and that people can jump between levels. People may be at the vision level, but then jump to the mental models level when answering a specific question. Salespeople and marketers should be aware of this, and they should expect it. It can be helpful to be aware of the person's general level of engagement, but they should be prepared when the person jumps to a lower or higher level. One way to help determine the engagement level is using the 3-question rule. Ask yourself 3 questions. What do we want? Who are we talking to? What are we talking about? If your answers reveal 2 different levels of engagement, you are likely at the wrong level. If your answers are all at the same level, then you are probably at the right level. Choosing the correct response is not a matter of choosing the highest level of perspective. It is choosing the appropriate level for the present moment. For example, let's say you are selling your company's online course. 1. At the vision level, you might discuss the company's plans. 2. You might be discussing how the course functions with other offerings at the systemic structure level. 3. At the patterns level, you might be discussing how the course has been used in the past. 4. At the level of the event, you might be discussing how the course solves the customer's problem. In this example, you would be using the 5 levels correctly if you were at the vision level. If you were at the systemic structure level, you would use the levels incorrectly. The correct level will depend on the present moment and what is needed. One of the dangers of sales is staying at one level for too long. It is also important to remember that we do not have to jump to the highest level. It is more important to be at the appropriate level. There are 5 levels we can use to look at almost anything. We can draw a picture, create a model, or tell a story at each level. We can also combine the different levels to create a complete perspective. Although the levels of perspective exist in order, it is not necessary to use them in order. They are independent of one another, and we can use any level at any time that is appropriate for the situation. The systemic process of the 5 distinct levels of perspective is taken from the work of Daniel Kim. Reference: Daniel H. Kim, Organizing for Learning, Strategies for Knowledge Creation and Enduring Change. For more information on our thoughts and how it applies to sales and marketing, review this past Business 901 blog post, dealing with levels of perspective, or this post, the different levels of perspective in sales engagements. Learn more at business901.com.